what do we have today? It is Unix and shell scripting. So what is Unix? What is shell scripting? What are we all talking about? So Unix, okay. So Unix is a operating Unix, it's an operating system, right? We all know it's an operating system, okay. So similar to Windows, we have different environments like Linux, Ubuntu, CentOS and all, right? So we have, with respect to each operating system, we have few commands for it. In Windows, we have few commands to execute, just say, you have to open a file in Windows from your command line. You say cd, driver, colon, slash, something in a file folder name, something. So this is how you access something in Windows, okay. So apart from GUI, you have few commands, okay. And whatever, you have a graphical user interface. GUI is nothing but the one with which we are interacting. Hello, Ravi. I guess everyone is able to hear me. If someone is not able to hear me, please do ping me back saying that you're not able to hear me, okay? Or just raise your hand.
Spandana,
Yeah.
Spandana, just a minute. I just lost my session, okay? Have you discussed anything on this topic?
No, I'm just starting off with the basics, nothing.
Okay.
Nothing much to say.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Ravi, are you there?
Yeah, yes, I'm just muted. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
one more thing is that when you are planning to start the evening batch, any plan?
Shiva would discuss this with you, Ravi. I'm not sure about this.
Okay, not sure on that part. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And at what time this is going to finish, timings wise?
Exactly 50 minutes later.
Okay then. Okay.
Okay, so now let's start. I'm just discussing what is Unix and what is shell scripting, nothing. So what I am discussing now is every operating system has the different operating systems, and every operating system has few set of commands to access it. Whether you have a graphical user interface, the one with which we try to you access it from. This is my graphical user interface for Windows. If I do want to access any folder, I come here and open it. But if at all I want to do it from shell script, how am I going to do? Right? cd c colon slash my folder name where I want to go, destination folder name, whatever. So this is how I'm going to access it from command line. Similarly, even Linux, all of them have. Sudhakar, now you're able to hear me? So having some issue.
Yes, ma'am, I'm able to hear you.
Okay, good. Please mute it. Thank you. So now we have different set of Unix commands. Okay, so it's like you want to do simple operation. You want to open go to a specific folder, create a file there, and write a small line inside it and close it. This is what you want to achieve. So for this, you have to take help of a series of Unix commands, okay, which needs to be followed in a particular order. Yeah, that's very clear. If you're not going to the destination folder and creating a file, it would not be created in your destination folder, but at your home folder. Right? After creating a file only, you're supposed to write something. If you're not writing it after creating a file, then it will not be written anywhere, right? So similarly, it's a set of series of commands which are to be performed in a particular order. Okay, so now putting all these commands into a file and running it. So what is this file called as now? It's called as a shell script. This file is called as a shell script. Okay, so it is a code which is always written to achieve some special purpose, okay, and it is all most of the time it is written one time and run many times. So that is just a brief about shell programming, okay. So now I'm saying we have different commands with which we are trying to access our Unix or Linux environment, okay. So similarly, let's go ahead and this might be AWS console. So let's log into our AWS console. This is instance of okay. I'm in California region. Let's put in Virginia. Maybe have few more instances. Okay. So Linux instance, yes. Let's start it. This is how you're going to start your EC2 instance once we have stopped it. Meanwhile, let's log into this instance. We have seen how we have generated a .ppk file out of a .pem file, right? So now go to SSH section, go to auth, browse for your keys. So this is the corresponding .ppk file. Open it. EC2-user. It's a Linux instance. Yep. So we are logged into our instance. We have some instance, okay. So in this instance, we can, there are a few set of commands. Let's say, we don't have any knowledge on this stuff. And let's start from basics, just tell me how many of you are familiar with working in Linux environment or shell scripting. How many of you are familiar? I guess no one is. Okay, fine. Chalo, let's start. So ls is used to list the files or folders inside a directory, okay. So now you want to know where are you exactly. So now just do pwd. It lists out the pwd is nothing but present working directory. It lists out the directory in which you are. Okay, so you are an home EC2 user. Okay, so now in that you have an install file. Okay, suppose you want to create a directory here, mkdir test, mkdir make directory test. So do ls, you'll be able to see a directory in test. So now you want to open this or go into this directory. So first thing, we have to create a directory, then we have to go into this directory and then create a file inside it. So cd test, cd. When you say cd test, it takes you inside the directory. So now there is nothing inside it. Just check your present working directory. It is home EC2 user / test. So this is your current location. You're inside directory test. So now you're supposed to create a file inside it. How are you going to create a file inside it? vi, it's an editor. t1.txt. Every time you open a file, it is in read mode. If you want to write some data inside it, go ahead and press I from your keyboard. It takes you into an insert mode. You can see it. When you give escape colon, it is not in a read mode. You want to write something also, it will not allow you to write until unless you go to an insert mode. Okay. Let's say I've written some data inside it. Escape colon, after escape press colon WQ not, which says that write this data and quit it. Okay. So now do ls, you have one more file t1.txt inside it. Okay, fine. So now if you want to display content of this file onto your screen, so how are you going to do it? Cat t1.txt, which displays content inside a file onto screen rather than opening that file and seeing it. Okay, so cat command does it. Okay, so after this, let's say you want to copy this file to another file. Okay, copy data into this file to another file. cp t1.txt to t2.txt, where t1.txt is the source and t2.txt is the destination. Do ls, you have two files. Cat t2.txt is also having same data, right? What, Sudhakar, what is this yes about? Can I know? Okay. So now you have data in two files. So now you want to actually delete one file. rm-rf it deletes that file. Okay. So now if you want to move this file to another place, mv, again source space destination. We have deleted t1.txt earlier. So now you have only one file t1.txt. When you copy, it makes a duplicate copy. When you move, the contents are moved to another file. They are not copied from one file to another file. Okay, basic commands. Let's see what we have. So, in list I did ls, so we have different options to do ls. Let's see, doing one by one. Let's see. Ls, we have all this. Ls hyphen a, it lists out the hidden files or directories. So there is a hidden directory dot. Space current. Let's say I'm telling you, you have only one file folder seen, t1.txt. When you say now, when you speak about hyphen a, it is showing you the hidden files and directories. Okay, cd.git. It takes you inside this directory, and let's see your present working directory. Where are you? Home EC2 user test /.git. Okay. If you want to return back to your earlier directory, you do cd space dot to return one step back to your previous directory. Sorry. LL, it displays your files with all the detailed information, saying that what permissions do you have, read, write, execute permissions. Let's speak about permissions going ahead. What permissions you have, who is the user, is the root user, who is the group user, who's the group owner, who is the root file owner, and when is it created. Okay, so what is the file name, everything you have it over here. Okay, so this is about LL. Okay, so apart from ls hyphen a and ll, we have few more commands as well. So what are they? Get back and see. So we did ls hyphen, we didn't do ls hyphen ll. Let's do it off also. It is also similar to ll only. Okay, so now if you're using list command, ls is a list command, you're trying to use it with different combinations just to display what all list of files we have or what all files we have. Okay, so if you want to find whether particular file is there or not or something, if you want to list a file which is having a dot txt extension or something, in such scenario, how are you going to do it? Okay, so how are you going to do it? List t star dot cp t1 dot txt to t2 dot txt. Sorry, let's see. Just making some random names, t12, t1, t2, t3. Okay, what did I say is ls t star or txt displays all the files. And now let's go ahead and say t1.txt. T1 star, which says that any of the characters. Star says that it could be any of the character next to it. It is not concerned whether it should have a fixed character, but only the data before star should be constant. Okay, there could be some data after in place of star. Okay, so now after and there is t1.txt, and after t1 there is also some variable. What is that? t12, which says it has some other variable 2 after 1. Okay, so that's the reason why it has displayed it. Okay, so there is one command who. So if you run who command, it shows you who is logged into your machine. Who am I? It shows you which user you are. PASSWD to reset your password. Okay, and let's run this. Why I'm missing that. Says we logged in as EC2-user. That's the only user we have. Just a second. So now, who am I and which user am I and how did I log in? It says that I've logged in as EC2 user. When I do sudo -i, it switches my access from a user to a root. Okay, so just to have access to all of the commands and permissions. Okay, so now let's check my present working directory. I'll be in /root. When I always do sudo -i, I'll be switched to /root. So if you want to go back to your old directory where you're working, home EC2-user. So now you are in this directory. Check your present working directory. You would be in home EC2 user. Okay. PASSWD. It asks password. So you can create a new password and try to change a password for your existing user if at all you have one. Okay. And users -w. These are the commands used to display list of users along with their details. Sorry. So users displays the name of user, and W displays the username. Okay, along with from how much time it is, from which port, and what is the login information, how much time it is idle, what is such ID, everything. It displays you. Okay, all the details about it. And we have cal actually to display the current calendar of the current month, and date to display date and time of the current time and date. It displays you when you switch to date command. Okay, few basic commands. Okay, so these are commands which we use to actually turn off your instance. Okay, or your turn off your Unix instance or machine. It's not only virtual machine but any machine. Okay, when you say halt, it brings no, or it gets down your system immediately. So, and when you say init 0, it cleans up your system, okay, with some predefined steps and then goes for a shutdown. Okay, so init 6 reboots the system completely and it again brings it up. Power off shuts down the system, and reboots the system, okay, and shuts down the system. But init 6 reboots it and brings it up. Reboots it and shuts it down. Power off will power off the system. Init 0, it will also power off the system, but it runs a few scripts and does a system cleanup, and then it shuts it down. Okay, halt brings it down immediately. Okay, so we know when we use it, right? So if at all you encounter some issue in your server, which is going to affect some other servers or something, in such a scenario you can't wait for it to run scripts or to do an boot and then do something. Rather than that, I'll say a halt, so that it does not affect other systems or something. In such scenario, I immediately get that system down. So when I run a halt command, it brings down the system immediately. Okay. So these are a few file operations which we have, most of them we have seen actually. Let's see VI for creating and editing files. I told you it's an editor for creating and editing files. Cat is nothing but it's a concatenation command which displays the contents of a file onto the screen, which cats or concatenates the content of a file onto the screen. Okay. So cat -b space file name to cat file with line numbers. No much difference. Cat -b. We are not there here. So this is a cat command. It displays file data inside a file with line numbers, with some line numbers. That's it. Only difference. WC to display words. Okay. So it displays a word count. It says that you have one line, it has 4 words, and it has 22 characters. One line, 1 2 3 4 lines. Okay, words, 4 words, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19, no, it even 19 20 21. Okay, so even double quotes are the ones which we have specified. So it considers even the white spaces within the text and displays the number of characters it has used. White spaces are also included inside the character count. Okay, so CP source file destination to file copying to this source file to destination file. It copies. Move file name to a new file name to where you have to move. We did it. RM file name, we did it to remove a file. CD to change directory. Okay. MV to move directory. Okay. MKDR creates a new directory. RMDIR deletes a directory. PWD to know the current working directory. We have seen all of these examples earlier, right? So now let's go to file permissions. So what permissions am I speaking about? So every file has few set of permissions which says that, is this, who is the owner of this file, okay, who has full permissions to access it. Okay, so if at all I'm not a owner, or if at all I'm not a member of the group, so what all permissions would I get to execute this file? How do we know? Okay, so we did a LL. It says for you have read write, and read permissions. So read write permissions for owner, read write permissions for group, and read permissions for others. So first column speaks about owner, second about group, and third about others. Okay, so read, write, and execute. Full permissions you get with plus X, execute. Okay, so now so if you want to give change permissions of a file. Okay, so this is how permissions actually mean. Okay, so you say chmod 755, where 7 says it has read, write and execute permissions. 5 says it has read and execute permissions, okay? Or 6 speaks that it has read and write permissions, okay? To change permissions, we actually use this command. So let's go ahead and see here. Chmod, I want to give full permissions. I want to do +X, okay? But I want to leave it with read write only. So 6 and read 4. What is that? t1.txt. Now it has read, write, execute permissions, and for group you have read and write permissions, and for others you have only read permissions. So this is for t1.txt. Similarly, if you don't want to chmod +X it already has, no? When you say +X, it has given X, it has included X in all the for all the users, groups and other users as well. It has added permission. So if you want to specify, particularly for which for what owner you want to give what, okay? In such you can add permissions with plus, and you can remove it with -6, okay? That's all about file permissions, okay? So now I told you there's a file name. So it says that it is owned by EC2 user something, okay? So I want to change it from EC2 user to root. Chown root into LL. So now ownership is changed from EC2 user to root. So if you want to specify any other user as well, you can specify it over here. But chown command. To send an email, you have to write email -mail. Hyphen is with the subject you want to get, -c or -ccc with the addresses you want to add, and to the current -adr to the current destination address to which you have to drop an email. Okay, so you can configure your email from your from your Unix environment. Okay. Any doubts, or so far it's clear, no? Okay. So what is a shell? So what is a shell? A shell is it's an environment where we can run our commands, programs, scripts or something. Okay. So now this is actually our shell in which we are working. It says in here we are able to run our commands, run any program and scripts from this place, right? So this is a place. This place is called as shell. Okay. So usually a dollar is a Unix shell prompt. Okay. So what is a process? What are we speaking about? So as simple. So let's see. Now I am running some file. Okay. So every file which runs, or everything which is running in an operating system, it runs in background as a process. Okay. So let's say few set of commands are executed via a shell script. So all this are run as a process. Okay. So everything is, an operating system tracks all the work which is going on, or all the files that are running, or all the commands that are running inside it in form of a process. It's a unique ID. It's a unique 5-digit ID which will be, which could be repeated at, it's not that if once a process ID comes, it will never again repeat in its lifetime, but it repeats it once the process is done. This process ID would be free. Okay, so again it might repeat. Okay, so there are two types of processes. One is foreground process and one is a background process. Foreground process is nothing but the one which runs on our screen. Okay, when I run something, sudo yum is for Linux. If it is Ubuntu, you say apt-get. I said yum update, it is running. Whatever it did, it has shown it on the screen. Okay, so if at all you're doing it in background, okay, as a background process. Okay, so this process is nothing but this is a process which is running at the in background, which doesn't display any log over here. See, 1 plus done, sudo yum update, it has done it. But when you did a yum update, after this command, it is done an update of these two, and said, no packets marks but update. So but here you can see that it has done it in background. It didn't display it on the screen. So that's a difference between a foreground and a background process. Okay, so when you do echo double dollar, it displays you current process ID of the current shell. So process ID of the current shell is 2588. This is the shell in which we are exactly working now. Okay. So if you want to kill something, you can kill that process with kill -9 space the process ID. Okay. There's one more command, top command, which displays you, okay, the process IDs of different commands that are going on. Okay, so top running process. Okay, so two five double eight is my process ID, right? Kill -9 2588. It took me to EC2 user from root user. How did I come? I did a sudo -I have come here. To actually go back, I need to type exit and then press enter, so that I'll be going out. So now it is not sudo I, which I didn't do an exit here, but what did I do? I just killed the process ID. So it is again some randomly generated number which is not constant again. Okay, so kill -9. Again it is exited me out. Okay, so echo $? Represents the status of the previous command. Okay, so $? Okay, where is the question? Just tell to someone. It says shows the exit status of the previous run command. Okay. -A shows information about all users. -X shows information about processes without terminals. Okay, just printing it. -X, -U, -F, shows away. Fine. -X shows information about process without terminals, and -U, -F shows any additional information. -E displays the extended information. Okay, just the dollar variable presents the exit status of the previous command. Okay. Why is it not showing? And PS is used to list all the processes as well. Sorry. PS-A to display the details of all the users. PS-X to display all the current processes. Okay. PS-U for the same. Okay. And PS-E to display the extended information of all the running processes. Okay, this is how you run that. And you have variables. Okay, so we have seen so far basic commands to access, basic commands with which we can access, open the file, do some file operations, and change ownership of files, change permissions of file. Okay, and see the processes, and how to kill a process, how to know which process, which commands are running on which process, or which shell is running on which process. That's what we have seen now so far. So now going ahead with variables. So what is a variable? It is nothing but it is some name. Okay, it's some name to which a value is assigned. So the value that is assigned could be another name, could be a number, could be a file name, whatever. So that is all, it could be an integer, it could be a floating point number, whatever. So this variable is doing nothing but is actually pointing to a place where it has the value. So you said 100, where 2 is equals to 100. So now where 2 is referring to a location where this 100 is actually stored inside your memory. Okay, so that is what a variable is. Okay, so to which we can contain names from A to Z, small and capital, and numbers from 0 to 9. Okay, or the underscore character. Apart from that, you don't get @ to use it in your variable name. So it says variable 1 is equals to Zara Ali and variable 2 is equals to 100. To print this, echo where 1 or echo where 2. That's it. So now going to operators. So we know. Yeah.
Spandana,
Yeah, tell me.
can you explain about variables again?
You want me to explain about variables again? Okay. So a variable is nothing but it's just a name. See, we are also having a name, right? So what is my name? It's Spandana. It says that it's pointing to me when someone calls me Spandana. So it is pointing to me and I start responding back. So similarly, in your file system, you have memory. So every slot of memory which is available has some data popped up into it, which means that 100 is now, or Zara Ali is entered into two different locations. Okay, so when you want to use the data which is present in you want to use 100. So how are you going to call it? With variable. When you assign a variable, it is not pointing to the value, but it is pointing to the location where this data or value is actually stored. So it actually, 1024 is the memory location where 100 is stored. So variable 1 is pointing to 1024. So when you try to access the value of variable 1, it goes to 1024 and sees what is the data that is present under that location 1024. So you have 100 inside it, so it gives you 100 back. Okay, so it is nothing but a name to which some value can be assigned, which could be used later inside your file. Okay, so it could have a name. I mean, name of a variable has some name. It has some naming convention should be followed. It could be from A to Z or any alphabetical, whatever, any name. It should be in capitals or small letters. Okay, and numbers from 0 to 9 can be used as a combination, and only underscore could be used. Okay. So if at all it is question mark or at the rate or hash, which we usually use, will not work as a variable name. Okay. Let's see. So echo $var1. So it says that dollar points to the value of var1. So what is var1? It is 100. So echo $var1, it prints 100. Says var1 at the rate 2 is equals to 100, where at the rate is not present. It prints its value. But when you give any other, if you give any other, special character apart from underscore in the variable name, it doesn't accept it. Okay, you can give any of the name to its value, but not to the name. So clear? Okay. So we have only few more topics left. No? So we have operators, we have strings, and we have few examples. Okay, redirection operators, and then we have sedoc and grep. Okay, after that we will start off with another topics. So now we have operators. Just we'll see, what is it speaking about. I mean, am I able to clarify your doubt? Is variables clear now?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you come to operators, so we have different type of operators. Okay, and we know plus for addition, minus for subtraction, into for multiplication, slash divides, modulus, it is also a division operator. Okay, so rest all, let's leave it. What is division and what is modulus? Okay, so when you say modulus, it actually gives you the quotient. When you say percentage, it returns you back the remainder. If it has any remainder, it would return back the remainder. Slash gives you the quotient. Okay, when you do a division, you get a quotient and a remainder. It speaks about those two aspects. So now these are all the operators which you have. We will just write a small example using all the operators tomorrow. Okay, so just see how plus works, how minus works, and what is the syntactical way in which we should write all of this. So this we will continue operators in tomorrow's session. Okay.
No idea. How many days of classes left for shell scripting? Was it a 3-day session or 4-day session? How many days?
Until 3 days session, Pani. So first
Okay.
day is today. So tomorrow we will have all, I mean, the other programs. It could be, it could even go to 3 or 4 days, based on
Okay.
SEDOC and grep ko down like that. So by the time we complete SEDOC and grep, it takes, more than one session is required for SEDOC and grep. So
Okay.
it would be around 3 to 4 days session.
So తర్వాత మనం పైథాన్ స్టార్ట్ చేస్తాము.
Start with Python, right?
ఓకే, పైథాన్ ఒక 5 days పడుతుందా?
It takes a week. Python takes a week.
ఓకే.
Almost.
ఓకే. ఓకేనండి.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Sudhakar.